everybody. I'm here today with Tom Newling, who I've known for years. And Tom here is going to talk to us a bit more about Google Classroom. Hi, Tom.
Hello, Sue. Hi, everybody. So thanks for inviting me along, Sue. Basically, I'm a classroom teacher who spends a lot of his time doing Google stuff. And so I thought it might be useful with this group being set up to do a parent sort of viewpoint of what Google Classroom does, and really just answer some of your questions, because I know from questions that I get every day that it can be a bit confusing. It can be confusing for teachers too. So we're all sort of in it together and learning. And some of your teachers for your children might well be just starting out with this, maybe in the last 2 weeks. So they might not even know all the answers themselves. So hopefully, based on the questions that we've had sent in to us, I can try and answer those today and then give you a little view of what it looks like, and hopefully get you guys up and running. So I think we've got some questions, haven't we?
Yeah, so on the Facebook feed, people popped up almost immediately, so it's obviously a hot topic. So I've got one about keeping on top of notifications. So do you want me to read the whole question out?
No, that's okay. I read it. So
okay.
Basically that question, thanks you, that was about notifications. So people have Google Classroom set up in different ways. So for example, on your iPad or your phone or your tablet, it will come through and give you notifications whenever the teacher makes a comment or any new work is added. And you can turn those settings on and off. And a lot of people find it can be overawed by this, because sometimes, for example, in the morning, the teacher might be putting loads of things on at once, and they might also in the afternoon be marking loads of things at once. So what happens is you end up with all these notifications stacked up, and you don't know, and you can't work out what's going on. So there's a really good way of when you're in, and I'm going to show you this on the PC rather than a tablet, but it's a similar story. So what we'll do is I'll take you through the page from a child's point of view. So I was going to bring my child's class up on here now. And what I'll do is I'll show you where the work is best, where it's best to find the work, basically. So you can see, here's my child, John Barnes. As you can see, I'm a Liverpool fan. I'm sorry if that upsets anybody. And I have a little dummy class here, you see. So what I'll do is I'll show you now, when the child has their work set, I'll kind of give you a little brief overview. You probably have already seen in the classwork, the teacher might set up the work in this way. So for example, in some schools, they set it up with a day by day setup. So we have the date, and then the day. Other schools might do the whole week in one go, and other schools, especially secondary schools, might do it subject by subject.
Right.
So that's the first place, is to look in there and find the work that you need to find for the day. So that's sort of your first place. Often schools will give we'll have a timetable where you can go and see what's going on. And you can see here from my child here, I'm in all topics. So that's on the left-hand side. And I can see for my day, I've got a maths lesson and an English lesson that I can look at. So that's where you'd find that. Now, the place where you could get the really handy place that not many people know about is at the top here. It says view your work. For me, this is the great place for parents to go and see what the children have got to do. So you can see here that young John has got some work assigned to him here. If it is assigned, it means that it's not been done yet. So you can see I can select assigned on the left-hand side here. There we go. And you can see these two pieces are still to be done. And then you can see that any work that's been returned will appear here in the return section. So I can keep track then of anything that's come back to me. Even if I missed that comment from the teacher, even if I missed that alert, I can go into this screen and I'll be able to have a look. And I can see here that John received from his maths work, he's had it received back. There's a tick by it, and it's got a little speech bubble here. And if I click down, it shows me the comments that have been made. So the teacher said, please can you look at this again, have another go. And if the child then goes into view details, they can see here that the work is on this side here, and they can go and resubmit their work. Okay, so that's one really good way, and that might help people a lot, I think, if you are getting these notifications. So I'll just show you that again. It's in the main class area, in classwork, and it's view your work, and that will have all the work listed. So that's quite a handy way of seeing it. Also, there's another section called the to-do section, and again, if you go into the if you're on the computer, I call this the hamburger or the ladder up here, and you can click on this, and this to-do section will show you again all the work the child has that's been assigned and all the work that's been done. And you can see quite quickly there any due dates as well. So using the to-do section there in Clark, when you go to the main page, you go to the hamburger, and then going to the classwork section and view your work are the two main places that I would go to find out any comments that have been made. I think so that's probably going to answer those questions. I think on a tablet or a phone, it's a bit different, but you can still find those sections on there.
Okay, that's really helpful. Thank you. Good stuff. Right. Okay, so we have another question about deleting work by accident. How do you resend a lesson to only one child who has deleted the work by accident?
This happens all the time. I don't really know how they do it. I think I do actually now, after having seen it so many times. So basically, it's a really common problem. Let's have a look at young John here. So John's got his work here, and we'll view the assignment, and we can see that up here is his work. Sometimes that will appear as missing. So I'm just going to, and I guess but if they click on the cross here, the work will disappear. So we should see, here we go, John's work has completely gone now. So that's the stage where people come to, and the mum gets called in or the dad gets called in, and they're suddenly the child's faced with no work. It's quite an easy way to solve this. If you have a look at it, you'll see that it says make a copy. So if I click on that now, make a copy, it will then regenerate a brand new copy for me. There you go. So now my copy's been remade. So that's an easy way to do that. But what I'll do, I'll show you that sometimes you might not be in this screen. So your child will be panicking and there's no work, and that we'll go back in here again now and we'll see, they say, look, mum or dad, I can't find it. So what you need to do is from this page here, go into view assignment, and then we'll be opened up here. We can see the piece of work which isn't to be handed in. And then up here, make a copy. We click on that, and then it will just bring it up like magic. Really useful, and it's not easy to find that necessarily. So now you know it's there. That will help you. And just to remind people that you can also, this is another thing that many parents don't realize. If, for example, John isn't doing it on the computer, he's doing it on paper, he can you can take a photo of his work with your mobile phone, and then you can, obviously it's, you've got to get it onto your computer next. So that will need to be uploaded to your computer. But then you can go to add and go into file, and then you can actually upload anything onto there. So there could be a photo of John doing his work, anything you want can go in. So by clicking on file, anything on your computer can be added to that. It's really useful, and lots of people don't spot that. And when you're ready to hand it in, you click on turn in, and then that's done now. And that will be sent off to the teacher with anything else you've added.
Okay. Brilliant. Yay. Tip number 2. Okay, right. So we've got a comment about a coloured screen. Is there something? I think someone answered this, but I know you wanted to talk about it.
I did. I wanted to talk about it because, firstly, it shows the beauty of Facebook and social media in that, like, we can find things out every single day. And I'd not used this before. I'll be honest with you. I've never seen this, and I've already told about 1,500 people today. So there's it's something that now this will depend upon how schools have set things up. Now, in my school, I don't allow children to add what's called an extension to their Google, but you can do this to your home computer quite easily. So I'll just show you how to do it. I'll just come into it. I'll open a new tab up here. So you might notice in your own Google Chrome, you've got a little jigsaw piece up here called an extension. This is where the extensions are. And Google kind of is, because it's not on a computer, you can't install programs. So Google's very clever. It lets you install these little things called extensions. Now, if that's not there, what you can do is you can go into, you can click on the little 3 dots. I call this the snowman, by the way. That's the jingo for it. So here we go. We've come along here and we find more tools. So that's about 2/3 of the way down. And then we click on extensions. And now what we can do is we can see all the extensions added to your Google Chrome browser. Now, some schools will be able to do this for you. For example, I've just done this for the schools that I work with. However, you might not have that ability to do that from your school. So you click on here where it says the hamburger here for extensions. And then we go down to Open Chrome Web Store. And in true Blue Peter fashion, I've already got one open here because I thought I might forget what it was.
Nice.
Here we are. So color overlay. Now, this is spelt with the American color. So it wasn't easy to find. And
Okay.
thanks to, I forget, I'm really sorry, whoever it was that suggested this, it was a really cool suggestion. So thank you. I'm sure we'll find out before we finish this video and give them proper thanks.
Katie,
But,
Katie Hurst.
Amazing, Katie. It was such a cool thing. So color overlay, here we go. There's 2 different versions of this. To run an extension, what you do is you click on it once you found it. Now, mine's been blocked by admin, you see here. So that might be you find that. However, if it doesn't give you that same message, and you're not blocked by your school admin, you can add that in. And what it does, it creates this wonderful little thing where you can choose. You can see it down here, whatever color you
Presumably
want.
you're blocked because your school has blocked
Exactly,
it.
because I block it.
Yeah,
See,
so if you're
as
at
I
home,
said, and I should have unblocked it, shouldn't I? But I didn't want to. So there you go. So I'm blocked because I blocked this so that children don't install all kinds of strange things.
yeah,
But some schools, and for your own personal, Gmail, which you probably have running on your computer, your Google, you can have this. So it's really, really brilliant. And if you do get to speak to your school and they haven't got it and you need to, just mention it to them. Just mention color overlay. I'll put it there. And it's spelt the American way. And then the child, whatever color they like to have over their screen, and often this helps children with dyslexia, they might like a blue or a yellow. Then you can change it to whatever color it is. And for every single page they open up on the browser, it will come up with that little slight tint. Amazing.
Fun,
an absolute game changer. So thanks for that one. That was brilliant.
Yeah. Cool. All right. Now, last one. Oh, I've written something that doesn't make sense. Comments are made. I've written down, but that does mean nothing.
Oh, another question too about comments being deleted.
Oh, that's the one. That's the one. That's the one.
I know the one. Comment. Yeah. So that was an interesting question. So yeah, let's say, for example, we're in our class, and look, John has written here, "Hello, everyone." Now, I work with year 3 children. I work with year 6 children. I know that they're prone to write nonsense in fill it with exclamation marks, emojis. Yeet seems to be a lovely word that gets used a lot, but certainly by my oldest son. So, so if you spot this as a parent and you think, oh my goodness me, what an embarrassment they are. What you can do as a parent, you can say, have a little chat with them and then say, look, I think we should probably delete that. So just next to John's name here, you can see these 3 dots, the snowman. Click on there and it gives me the option to delete. Now, I know I'm a teacher, but I'm looking at this as a child's point of view. So you'll all get this and they can then delete that comment and it can go forever. Quite useful to have there, I think. So
no, I think it was, that's great. If you delete your own child's crazy comments.
But not other children's.
Can you delete other people's?
No, you can't. The teacher can. So if there's teachers watching this, they probably already know that you can turn off chat completely. You can restrict it, or you can just have you can delete random ones. I do it every so often. I usually let the child know about it to tell them why I've done it. But so you can't delete other people's. But if you see something as a parent, I think the school would really appreciate if you saw something a little bit untoward on your child's Google Classroom. The teachers aren't going to always notice that necessarily. So if you could let them know, for example, we had a Grand Theft Auto chat the other day. Now, in year 6, some of them might be allowed to play that, but certainly as a school, we probably wouldn't promote it. So, I got wind of it and deleted it. But if parents do spot things like that, I think that schools would really appreciate it if somebody let them know, because they might have just slipped through the net, basically.
Yeah, like you say, you just get streamed. We have been using Google Hangouts on at Redbird, and sometimes I'll put a link in, then there'll be a screen of chat, and if no one can find the link, it's like, damn it, just talking nonsense. Well, obviously,
unfortunately, we're so used, aren't we, to our social media that we just tend to chat and jibber jabber on, don't we? And you probably want to use it for a more kind of technical reason, yet it's suddenly lost in all of the chat. So that's definitely something that would be useful. But
All right. So have you got any other words of wisdom for us?
I just think, just remember that, Google Classroom is not perfect. Okay. So lots of the faults with Google that you find with Google are probably at the Google end. I think the teachers are trying to make sense of it, and each school has a slightly different way of setting it up. And so, it doesn't always make sense to everybody. And I think, that's just something I'd say, they're probably trying their best. Remember, they've only really got to grips with this in the last few weeks. A lot of schools, it's come out of the blue for some. So I think just, and communicate with them. I think, lots of schools are sending out, questionnaires about that. They really value parents' feedback. So I think that if you're finding things completely tricky, and they're difficult, I'm sure a well-worded email or a little, note somewhere, would probably be really appreciated by a school, So I think that's it really. It's a great platform, but it's by no means perfect.
Well, Tom, that's brilliant. Thank you so much.
No problem.
It's great. So we've answered all those questions. So can you come back if we have any more?
I'd love to. Yeah, of course I will. Yeah, if there's any teachers on there as well, I do a lot of teacher training, so I'm happy to kind of, to be out there and help out if need be. And if you want to follow me on Twitter, I tend to try and post some little tips here and there for parents and teachers. So that'd be cool.
It looks just like you.
Yeah, I haven't got my glasses. I'm in contacts at the moment, so I kind of need to change my bit mode, don't I?
Look, it looks like you. Look very relaxed there, so that's good.
I tend to be, yes, most of the time, if I can be.
All right, well, thanks, Tom. Thanks so much. And all right, well, no doubt I'll hear from you again. That'd be great.
Thanks, Sue. Thanks, everybody.
Thank
Bye.
Bye.